Hi, it is good to see you back. I hope you are doing well. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to explore real-world cybersecurity tools or test hacking techniques, but you worry you might break something on your own computer? Well, imagine having a safe, controlled environment where you can practice freely, no risk, no stress. That is exactly what you're going to learn today. By the time you are done with this video, you will have your own virtual home lab, so you can dive into cybersecurity with confidence, with no stress. How does that look for you? Welcome back. I'm so glad you're still here. So you're really serious about learning cybersecurity, huh? Maybe you are studying for a certification, preparing for job interviews, or just really excited to build up your own skills. Either way, having a virtual home lab is going to be a game changer for you. Here is why. With our lab, testing out tools like Wireshark, running pickup files, or even experimenting with penetration testing tools can put your personal computer at risk. But with a virtual lab, you will have your own safe space to try anything you want without worrying about damaging your own system. Think of it like having your own private cybersecurity playground. Okay, it is what I'm going to walk you through today. First, we're going to talk about the requirements you had to have to complete this video. Second, I'll show you exactly what you will need to get started, what kind of computer specs like internet connections and software you will need. Then, I will guide you step by step how to download and install VirtualBox. After that, I'll help you picking out the right virtual machines for your virtual lab, like a Kali Linux, Metasploitable 2 or 3, and even a Windows Server 2022. Finally, I will show you how to set everything up so you can hit the ground running and start practicing right away with a short demo. Remember, this is a completely beginner friendly, so don't worry if this is your first time setting something like this up. I will walk you through every step, and by the end, you will have a fully functional home lab. So grab something to drink and let's get started. So you might be wondering what skill set do I have to have for this step? Well, basic computer literacy, and I am absolutely sure you won't have any problems with this step. If you can, browse the web, install apps like Zoom or Chrome and organize files into folders, you're already equipped to follow along with this tutorial. Not advanced skills are required. A willingness to learn, curiosity and patience to try new things, and comfort with making and fixing mistakes, especially in a safe virtual environment. Don't worry if something doesn't work perfectly on the first try. That is part of the process, and I will help you troubleshooting common problems along the way. Minimal command line knowledge, but at this point, this is optional. Familiarity with typing basic commands into a terminal, like Windows or Mac OS, or Windows command prompt. If you have never used command prompt, at this point is just optional. Logical thinking and problem solving. The ability to follow instructions step by step and mindset of breaking down problems into smaller, manageable steps. Think of this as solving a fun puzzle. If one piece doesn't fit right away, I will help you to figure out where it goes next. Next is time and focus, around 1 to 2 hours of focus time to complete the initial step. Setting up a lab requires a bit of patience. Rushing through the process can lead to mistakes and errors. Take your time. Don't feel pressure to finish everything in one go. The beauty of this setup is that you can always come back to it and pick up where you left off. No prior cybersecurity is needed, but an open mind to learning new tools, terms, and concepts like virtual machines or ISOps is needed. If you don't have any prior cybersecurity knowledge to set up this lab, think of it as building your own mini IT environment to experiment. Next, this is some of the suggested VirtualBox that we're going to download. This graph represents a virtual lab setup showing the connections between various components. From left to right, Internet Cloud represents the global network that provides connectivity an external access. The arrow points to the laptop, indicating that the host machine has internet access. The laptop host machine, this is your physical computer running Windows 11 or any other iOS. It serves as the host system where the VirtualBox will be installed. The VirtualBox in the middle icon. This is the virtualization software installed on the laptop. It allows you to create and manage multiple virtual machines that simulates real devices. And the virtual machines on the right side, they are shown as individual entities connected to VirtualBox via arrows. Each virtual machine serves as a specific purpose for learning or studying. Now the question is, why do I need a VirtualBox? You need a VirtualBox to create and manage virtual machines. Isolate software-based systems that run on your physical computer, like having a computer within your computer. Here is why it's essential for you for your cybersecurity home lab. Cybersecurity often involves testing tools, techniques, and even potential malware. Using your main operating system can put your data at risk. Virtual machines run independently from your main operating system. So if something goes wrong, like misconfigurations or malware infection, it only affects the virtual machine, not your actual computer. VirtualBox lets you install and run multiple OS simultaneously on your computer without needing separate hardware. In terms of cost-effective solution, VirtualBox is free, and you can run several virtual machines on a single computer, making it budget-friendly. Now, for flexible testing and reset option, you can take snapshots on a virtual machine, saving it, and use it for later. Something goes wrong, quickly restore the virtual machine to its previous state without reinstalling it. If you need to replicate real-world environments, you can simulate them, like setting up a small network of virtual machines to practice cybersecurity tasks such as scanning for vulnerabilities, testing firewalls, configuring security control. So first thing first, we had to check if virtualization is turned on in my computer. To do that, we come to Control-Shift-Escape. It will open the Task Manager, and we come to Performance, and on the right-hand side, we look if virtualization is enabled. If virtualization is enabled, you don't have to do anything else. To download your VirtualBox, you go to your favorite browser, and you type Oracle VirtualBox, and you click on the first link. The first link is going to open in a new tab. And here you can see that there are different options. When you say get started, download, and you're going to be presented with the different options, whether it all depends the operating system you have: Windows, host, Mac OS, Linux, and Solaris. In my case, I'm running a Windows 11, so I'm choosing Windows host. And as you see on the right hand side, that the download will install in a minute. Once it's complete, I always go to the next step. If you're installing the latest version of VirtualBox, which is 7.1.6 at the moment of recording this video, chances are that you're going to be presented with an error asking you for a Visual Studio C++ package. To fix that issue, you come to this website. Don't worry, the link to this website will be in the description below. So scroll the way down where it says ARM64. Be sure you click on 64.exe. I already did it. So the next thing that you want to do is come down here to your download folder, and you see something called BC. You click on it, and then you're going to install it. I already installed it, so that's why it shows me as if I want to repair, uninstall, or close. So in my case, I'll leave it alone, but in your case, you want to install. Once this is done, then you want to go to VirtualBox 7.1.6 and double click on it. You say yes. This will start the process of installation. You will accept all the terms and license agreement. You will go with the defaults. You are okay with the defaults. This warning network interfaces is all okay because when you install VirtualBox, it will create an additional interface. These missing dependencies, you would say okay, and you go with the defaults as well. Then you click on install. You click on finished. So this is a VirtualBox, how it looks like. So we are ready now to install our first virtual machine, which is Kali Linux. I suggest that you install Kali Linux right after you download a VirtualBox and VirtualBox file extension. And the reason is in downloading the ISO, it will take a lot of time. So you will have plenty of time to install VirtualBox and the file extension. So to do that, you go to kali.org. Don't worry, the link is going to be in the description below. So you click on download. We were presented with two options. One, the installer images and the virtual machines. The difference between the two is the virtual machines is a pre-compiled machine already, so it's ready to use. So you don't really gonna learn much how to build our virtual machine. So that's why, for the purpose of this exercise, I will suggest that you download the installer images. So we click on recommended, scroll down, and we click on installer, and this will initiate our installation. As you can see here, this is going to be the ISO, and so this is the one that going to take a little bit of time, so we'll come back to it as soon as install. As for now, we will go ahead and install the VirtualBox. Okay, so now we're ready to install Kali Linux in a virtual machine. So please don't worry about these other machines that you see over here. So what we're gonna do is we go to machine, we click on new, we give it a name, Kali Linux. You can name it anything you want. So this is the folder where all the files are gonna be installed. For the ISO, you go to the folder where you actually saved your image before. So I'm coming this way, so I select Kali Linux over here. So it detects already Linux. So for subtype, we are going to select Debian, and then immediately detects Debian 64 bits. Next, for the predefined options, we're going to leave it like it is. The hardware, we are going to give it 4 gigabytes of RAM memory. And for the processors, we're gonna give it 2. We can give it 4, but we're okay with 2 because we're not gonna be doing much on this. But remember, this can be changed anytime you want to. And then we go to hard disk and be sure that this radio button is create a virtual hard disk now is checked, and we click on finished. So now we're ready to launch our virtual machines. To do that, there are 3 options. Option number 1 is we right click on this Kali Linux blue or green button, and we see what it says star, and then we're gonna say start normal. Second, we double click on this one. Third, we click on this star arrow. So that's what we're gonna do. We click that launch the installation process. So we are getting ready to start the installation. And there you have it. So first, we're going to select graphical install. Graphical install. We're gonna select the language. If you are in United States or UK, you select English, but you can select any language you want. You say okay. And in United States, so I say United States, then you want to select the keyboard. I'm going to select American English. So configure the networks. We're gonna call it Kali. We're gonna call it Kali. If I can type properly, then we do continue. For the configure network, I'm not gonna put anything here. Click continue. For password, you can select any password you want. But remember, this is in VirtualBox, so you can, in real life, you're not gonna select something so simple. You click continue. And in central time, I'm going to use the entire disk as I click continue. For partition disk, I'm gonna be okay with that. All files in one partition, I'm okay with that. And finish with partition, I'm okay with that as well. So here, I want to say yes at this. Continue. Okay, so for software selection, this is the part when you select the software. So I'm okay with the defaults. All right, so it's asking me to install the group bootloader. I say yes, continue. So I'm going to select this one. I click continue. We're gonna finish the installation. So there you have it. So he says that installation is being complete. Now we have to restart. So to do that, we click on continue, finishing the installation, and it will restart Kali Linux. There we have it. Now we are restarting again. So we enter our credentials, Kali, the password you input, click enter. And there is. So now we have installed our virtual machine Kali Linux, and that will be, we are ready to start digging deeper into more excited things. All right, friend, I'm so glad you made it this far. But guess what? We are not ready yet. Remember, I said at the beginning that we're going to do a demo. In order to do that, I have some homework for you. So please go to the description below and look for the link for the Metasploitable 2. Download the Metasploitable 2 to the virtual machine. Follow the steps just like we did with the virtual machine. You can either install the Metasploitable 2 or Metasploitable 3. Either way works for the next exercise. Once you get that done, you come back and we will do the demo part. We are here. And as for now, we are going to use Kali Linux and Metasploitable 2. I have installed Metasploitable 2. I hope you had done it as well. So in order to do that, we had to be sure that either Kali Linux and Metasploitable are in the same subnet. So how do we check that? So we select the machine that we're gonna run. We go to settings. We go to network, and we had to be sure that this machine is attached to host only adapter. We can select network address translation if we want to the virtual machines talk to each other. The bridge adapter if we want to be able to talk to the host machine, which is your personal computer. But in this case, we're going to use host only adapter. And then we say okay. Then we go to Kali Linux, and we go into settings again. We go to network, and as you see, it was attached to network address relation. So If I leave Metasploitable with host only adapter and Kali with network address relation, the two machines won't be able to talk to each other. So in order to do that, we select this one as well for Kali and we click OK. The next thing is to deploy the two machines, and we click that by double clicking on it, and we'll run the machine. All right, I'm pretty sure that when you install it, Metasploitable 2 or Metasploitable 3, you read the part where it says that in order to log in Metasploitable, the username is MSF admin. Sent in for a password, MSF admin. And bingo, we are in. Next thing, we had to go back to Kali Linux, and we're going to start the machine. So we enter the credentials. Kali, you enter the password that you set up when you install the virtual machine. And there we have it. We have the two machines right now ready to be worked on. So what is the idea here? The idea is to use Kali Linux, which is on my left-hand side, as an attack machine, and Metasploitable 2 as a victim machine. So we're going to be able to identify what is going on Metasploitable 2. Just say as a victim machine, we are going to do some kind of reconnaissance. In order to do that, we open a terminal on Kali. We do right click, scroll down to where it says open a terminal, and we type if config. This will give us the information about the IP address of this particular machine. This is 192.168.56.106. All right, so we know what IP address Kali Linux has. So we had to do exactly the same thing with Metasploitable 2. So in order to do that, we type if config, enter, and there you have it. So you had to have this information in order to talk to the two machines. So we have 192.168.56.104. So to see if the two machines are talking to each other, we use a ping command. Ping command allows me to see if the other machine is alive, if it's listening, or if it has any services running. So we have ping 192.168.56 104. We do C for count, and we say 5. That is how many packets we're going to send. And you see that the two machines are talking to each other. And this is because we select the send adapter for the two machines. If we were selected the two machines with a different adapter, we will not be able to talk to each other. Or these two machines are not able to talk to each other, but because they are in the same adapter, now I can do some kind of reconnaissance on the Metasploitable 2 from Kali Linux. I'm using Kali Linux as my attack machine. So now I have some information about Metasploitable 8, and that information is pretty basic. It's just to know if that machine is alive. And as you can see, you got some replies here. No package were lost, as we see here. So the next step that we can do is try to identify what kind of services Metasploitable is running. And so in order to do that, we use something called Nmap. Don't worry about if you have never used Nmap. We will get to that in future videos, but as for now, we do a basic reconnaissance, which is we use sudo Why sudo? Because sudo will give me administrative rights to do that, and map, and then the IP address that I want to do some reconnaissance on, which is 192.168.56.104. It's asking me for my password, so I enter my Kali machine password, and then it's doing some kind of reconnaissance. So this is what pretty much attackers do. They want to do some reconnaissance on the machines. Obviously, this has to be done with proper permissions. If you don't have proper permissions to do this, you can get in serious trouble. So this is just an example. If you see, there are multiple ports open on Metasploitable 2. We have port 21, 22, 23, 25, all the way until port 8180. So now we have plenty information to continue our exploration. For instance, if you know that telnet is open in any machine, you are in a high risk to be breached, to be attacked, because this is one of the ports that is absolutely insecure. Also, port 80 is not safe. If port 80 is open on your system, on your network, then all the traffic going through port 80 is going to be unencrypted. So if those ports are open, you need to be completely sure that you're going to close them down. You want to know what operating system Metasploitable 2 is running on. So in order to do that, so we do the same thing, and sudo and map, we use big O, and then we do enter. So big O will allow me to identify the operating system that my victim is running on. And why is that? Because if I know that it's running either Linux, Windows, or Mac OS, then I can narrow down my attack. And as you can see here, Metasploitable 2 is running Linux 2.6. So that will give me tons of information, valuable information that I can use. There you have it. So we were able to identify if Metasploitable was alive, and yes, was alive, was listening in so many ports. For instance, those ports where it says open, that means that those ports are listening. Number two, we were able to identify what kind of services are running in those ports, and also we were able to identify what operating system is our victim running on. So with this, I will close this down. Thank you very much for joining me in this beautiful run. This is just the beginning. This is only the beginning. There is so much more that we can do. In the next video, we are going to be working on how to protect our system from this happening, and that is with firewalls. So stay tuned for the next video.